Hi, today I'm going to explore a multi-user virtual environment, iCivics. So just to recap or to reinforce, multi-user virtual environments or MOVs are virtual worlds in which users experience virtual context, interact with each other as digital forms known as avatars, manipulate digital artifacts, and engage in experiences similar to those in the real world. So the goal of iCivics, which was created by Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, is to teach students about civics and the American government. And so I'm going to go ahead and play a game as if I were a student. So as you click on play, the students have like an option of games. They can cast their vote. They can ratify their own bill. They can defend news and fight, what our president would call fake news. And so this explains how they earn points and what they can do with their points to impact a project. So I am an English teacher, so I am going to go straight to Supreme Decision, or better yet, Argument Wars. Here we are. So the Argument Wars, I loved this game because it correlates directly to the American Lit and pretty much all the Common Core ELA standards in terms of writing an argument, establishing a claim, supporting that claim with evidence, and it's interdisciplinary, it's fun. So let's play. I also like how each game gives you a playtime that's great for lesson planning, so you can determine if you want to use this in class or if you would rather have the students do it outside of class when they have more time. I think this is a great opportunity for students who need to accelerate learning, who may be wanting some additional practice with establishing arguments. And again, it puts it in a real life context. Students understand argument and persuasion as it happens in real life, whether it's convincing their parents, let them borrow the car, in advertising. And so I think this would be a great tool to support those Common Core argument standards. So they get to select the case they would like to try. And I'm going to go with one that I am super familiar with, Brown versus Board of Education. So they get to choose the case, they can get started. It's also a good idea, I think. You can direct the students which cases to go to. There are lots of options here. So we're going to go ahead and play a little bit. So here are the avatars. They get to choose. I think I will be this character. I'm going to give her an interesting name. We'll call her Lakeisha Grant, Black Girl Magic. So here I am representing Brown. It tells me what my essential argument is here. It also lets me know my opposition's argument, who they're representing. I love how you can switch clients. It may be a good idea to have them try the case from one perspective and then switch clients and play it again, so they get some practice of counterclaims. Here's our judge. Your Honor, I am here today because of a great injustice. By law, many Black children are forced to attend different schools than white children. Click to continue the argument. And I love how the judge acts as a moderator and provides feedback throughout the gameplay. All right, so now we're going to get to hear the opposition's perspective. It would be nice, though, if there were at least an option for audio. Oh, is this it? Oh, that's just for the sound effects. Pick the correct amendment. So obviously, you would probably want to give the students, again, some background information. You would probably expect them to already have an understanding of the Constitution, of the constitutional amendments. Got 100 points. I love how the points, again, there's lots of reinforcement and feedback. That green checkbox. Here's a tutorial. And the tutorials show up throughout the gameplay. That's my score so far. This is a great way to guide their understanding and make the gameplay a little easy. Excellent. Read this panel if you get stuck. I also love the option of no more tutorials if you have already played before, because this does tend to slow the gameplay down a little bit. So if you are understanding of the format of the game, you may want to skip the tutorials. All right. So these are the cards that I can play, excluding people, teaching each other, old case. I also have the option of discarding a card and getting a new one. Let's practice, try that. Okay, so to find out more information about a card, you click on it and you learn more about the card. The key to winning an argument wars is to play the best support. This is transferable. Generally, it is a okay. So I'm gonna close that. You must decide for yourself which cards to play and which to avoid. So you've got some critical thinking here. Students have to make some choices. So they should read each card. I think of the three, we'll start with excluding people is the best argument. So I'm going to drag my card. Okay, again, continuous feedback. I'll grant that support. That lets me as a learner know that I've chosen a good piece of support for my argument. And it tells me why that choice was excellent. It helps to show that children are being treated unequally by explaining how segregation affects them. And here are my points, racking them up, 300 points, baby. So now it's my opponent's turn to select an argument. They're playing a card. It's interesting that the game goes back and forth between some game vernacular and more formal, like pass, objection. So that's pretty much the idea of the game.